Greetings, friend. I'm going to show you some expert Sudoku tips and tricks that you'll need to solve this classic Sudoku by our Friday featured setter, Bondye. And in fact, I'm also going to give you a critical setup strategy that you'll need to find in order to solve this puzzle. Without it, you will probably get stuck. I'm also going to include some fun facts about our Friday featured setter. Click below if you want to give it a go. And with that, it's solving time. First thing to notice is that you have a 1 cutting across row 8 and a 1 right here in block 4, so a 1 can't be here, and you have a 1 in row 3, so a 1 can't be here. The only place for a 1 in column 1 is right there. And this is going to create some restriction along row 1 here. You might notice you have a 1, 2, 4, 7, and a 9 here in row 1. And then if you look down this column, you have a 5, 6, and a 3, and you already have a 2. So you have 8 different digits looking at this cell right here. The only one that's missing is an 8. So that is a naked single 8, and it will allow us to solve the rest of row 1. Because of this 3, a 3 cannot be in these two cells, so this has to be your 3. Because of this 5, this has to be your 5, and this is going to be your 6. I love what Bondye did here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across the top. Pretty slick. Okay, now, if you look right here, we actually have another naked single. This cell cannot be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. This has to be a 1. All right, let's move on to the 2s. You have a 2 here in column 2, a 2 in column 1. The only place in block 7 for a 2 is right there. Nice. And then let's look at the 3s. You got a 3 cutting across row 3, a 3 coming up column 7. The only place for a 3 here in block 3 is right there. Let's see if we can solve a 4. Okay, if you're looking here in block 4, you might notice you have a 4 coming down column 1. And then you have a 4, has to be in one of these 3 spaces in block 7. So that makes this 4, it makes a pointing triple, actually. And what that means is since a 4 has to be somewhere in column 2 here in block 7, it can't be in any of these spots. And you have the 4 here, it means the 4 cannot be here. The only place left for a 4 in block 4 is right there. All right, after solving that 4, now we can look up here and figure out where a 5 can go. Well, you got this 5 coming up. 3, you got a 5 cutting across row 3. The only place left for a 5 in block 1 is right there. And now with this 5 coming down column 2, the only place for a 5 in block 4 is right there. So we're making some great progress. We're solving quite a bit of this puzzle. Bondye puts a lot of advanced strategies in his puzzle, and he makes them quite instructive. If you want to solve more great Sudokus like this, join the Smarty Party, look at the pinned comment below, and you can get puzzle packs that are exclusive to my Smarty Party members, and it'll help you understand and solve Sudoku even better. Okay, after solving that 5, now we can look up here and figure out that this cell cannot contain an 8 either there or there, and because of this 8, the only place left for an 8 in block 1 is right there. After solving that 8, you see how the 7 comes up. We can solve a 7 right here in block 1 and solve this cell for a 6. So we made a bunch of progress here. And then you'll note that this has to be a 6 or a 9. So that's a naked pair. We will mark that as a 6 or a 9. Okay. Once we're looking here, it's time to start looking for that first advanced strategy. You're not going to get much else solved here until you find it. And what's curious is you want to look at these 4s. You see how this 4 is right there? How many 4s do we have? Let's kind of explore where the 4s could be here. All right, you got 4 in those spots. 4 could be there, could be here, could be in all of these spots, can be here, it can be in one of these 3 spots in that block, and can be there. All right, so we'll eliminate. We got the 4s in these 3 blocks, and this is where the 4s can be in the other blocks. We're going to mark that orange, and you see an advanced strategy. There's actually a couple of the easiest one to see is in column 6 and column 8. So I want you to look here in column 6 and notice that a 4 is limited to 2 rows. Rows 4 and 9. If you go over here to column 8, 4 is limited to the same 2 rows. Row 4 and row 9. This is a Sudoku X-Wing. Okay? An X-Wing, whenever you have the same candidate limited to the same 2 rows in 2 columns, that forms an X-Wing. So a 4 either has to be here and here, or here and here. It crosses like an X. And what it means is we can eliminate every other possibility for a 4 along row 4 and row 9, because we know a 4 has to be in one of these 2 blue cells. So we can eliminate a 4 from all these spots right here. This is great. This is our first advanced strategy. And it's going to allow us to make a solve here. Because if you look, now the colors represent where 4s can be. Where can a 4 be here in column 7? Only right there. This has to be your 4. This is really nice. And, it's going to allow us to make some more solves. We can actually put a 2, 6 right here, and we're going to mark these by value cells to kind of help set up and get us to that next advanced strategy. But before we get to that, I do want to reveal my fun facts about Bondye. We're on our last Bondye puzzle for the month. I always ask, how much time does it take you to set puzzles? And Bondye says it depends. It can vary significantly. Sometimes he can set puzzles within an hour or 2. Other times he's spending over a month just fine-tuning a particular puzzle and making sure it's set just the right way. Okay, other thing I ask is, who tests your puzzles? And he says his wife is actually his primary tester. I mentioned that Mary and his wife supports him in making these puzzles. I love that. And many times he'll get it tested on the Cracking the Cryptic Discord server. That's where I found Bondye. And it's a great community. I really love hearing about that. All right. Now, if you are just want to learn more about how X-Wings work, I did make an X-Wing and Skyscraper tutorial. Check it out at this link right here. And while you're at it, you want to subscribe to Smart Hobbies, and I'll teach you how to solve X-Wings even better. Okay, our next trick is we're going to leave these colors, except for the 4 that I just saw. I need to know where these 4s can be to help set up that nice intermediate strategy I was talking about at the beginning of the tutorial. First, what you want to see is to get this nice setup for the next advanced strategy, you need to notice that the 3 and the 6 are across row 8. You have a 3 and a 6 across row 7. And then you have this 3 and a 6 here in column 6. So where can a 3 and a 6 be here in block 8? It can only be in these 2 spots. This is called a hidden pair. Whenever 2 candidates are limited to the same 2 cells in a block, that's a hidden pair. That means no other candidate can be there. And this is going to allow us to make another solve, because since a 3 and a 6 are the only 2 possibilities here, can no longer be anything else, including a 5. Now, let's look here in column 4 to see where a 5 could be. Can't be here because of the 3, 6. Can't be here because of this 5. Can't be here because of here or here because of this 5. And it can't be here because of this 5. So the only place left for a 5 is now right there. Nice. And now what you want to notice is you have this 9 cutting across row 9, this 9 cutting across row 8. The only place left for a 9 is right here. And now we can remove that color from that cell. And remember, these other colors represent where 4s can be. And since we removed the 9, you want to look across row 3. The 3 missing candidates are a 2, which we can remove that color, 2, 6, and 9. Well, this cell right here cannot be a 6 or a 9. It now has to be a 2, which allows us to solve this for a 6, solve this for a 2. This is a 9, and that's a 6. Okay, we got a lot of great solves there, but we're not done. We are not going to be able to finish solving this puzzle. There's another advanced strategy that we need here. Okay, in order to set that up, it's the whole reason why I kept these marks here. If you look here, what can be in these 3 cells? It's a naked triple, right? You got 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 already. So 1, 4, 7. Because this 7 That's a 1 or a 4. There's already a 1 in row 8. And because of the X-wing, this cannot be a 4. That's huge. All right. And then if we look across the row, that can only be a 1 or a 4. Okay. And then let's focus on this cell right here, right? What can this cell be? We actually want to fill out all of column 8. You got a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. We're missing 4, 7, 9. Well, this can't be a 9, and this can't be a 4. Okay. We have ourselves our next advanced strategy. This is a great setup. And you had to know about the X-wing to know that that can't be a 4 in order to do it. Now I can remove these colors because they're going to be a little distracting. See if you can spot the advanced strategy. All right. Well, it involves something we've seen in some of these other Bondye puzzles. You look right here. This is a 1 or a 7, right? And it's a bi-value cell. Well, it sees this cell right here, which is a 1 or a 4, and also sees this cell, which is a 4 or 7. This creates a Sudoku XY wing. Whenever you have 3 bi-value cells and you have all 3 different combination pairs of 3 candidates, in this case 1, 4, and 7, so we have a 1, 7 here, a 1, 4 here, and a 4, 7 here. One of those cells sees the other 2, so this is our pivot, sees these 2 pinchers, that creates an XY wing. And what we know is that if this is a 1, that has to be a 4. If this is a 7, that has to be a 4. Either way, one of these purple cells is a 4. We can eliminate a 4 from any cell that sees both purple. So we can eliminate a 4 from right here. This is beautiful. This is our nice advanced strategy that you need to find. But you have to set it up with this hidden pair and then with that X-wing. That's the tip you needed. Hopefully it got you through this puzzle. If you want to learn more about XY wings that I just showed you, click on my advanced tutorial. I'll put a link to it here. And we're going to now be able to solve and move forward in this puzzle. So now we know this has to be a 1. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 7. This has got to be a 1. Awesome. And what we're going to do is remove these colors and see how much further we can get with our solving. Okay? Now you made all these marks. Let's look at me right here, right? This cell can't be a 1, 2, 3, can't be a 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 9. This has to be now a 4. All right. So we're solving that cell for a 4. Since that's a 4, we can remove a 4 from this cell. You have now a 7, 9 naked pair, which means this can no longer be a 7. This has to be a 4 as well. Awesome. All right. And now you can see how you have a 1 coming up, column 9. You have this 1 cutting across. Only place left for a 1 is right here in block 6. With these 2 1s and these 2 1s, we can solve for 1 right there. Nice. And now this creates a nice 6, 9 naked pair. I'll mark that because it shows quite a bit of restriction for us. All right. What's the next thing we want to look for? Notice how the 7 cuts down. Column 7, you got the 7 cutting across here. This cell has to be a 7, and now you're looking for like a 2 and a 5, and then you're also looking for a 2 and a 5 here, but this 5 is going to help us solve all of that, or this 5, because this now has to be your 2. That's your 5, and that's your 2. Nice. And now what it looks like is 5 and 8 right here. I have a 5 already in row 5, so there's your 5, and there's your 8. 7, 9 is there. This is going to be a 6. Beautiful. And now where can we go from there? Well, we have these 2 cells, which can be a 4 or an 8. I got my 4 here, so here's your 4, and there's your 8, looking good. Let's shift our focus here. We only have 3 cells remaining. In column 6, looks like we need a 4, 8, or 9. I have a 4 and an 8 right here, so this has to be your 9. That's the only thing it can be. Make this a 7, makes this a 9. With this 9, now this is a 6. This is a 3, this is a 6. I love disambiguating and solving these bi-value cells. All right, this 6 means this is now a 9, and what we're missing is a 3 and a 6. I have a 6 here. Here's your 6. Here is your 3. That 3 in row 4. With this 3 means the only place left for 3 in row 5. right there. It means this has to be a 2. And you look across here, we have a 1, 2, 3, a 4, 5, 6. We need a 7, 8, 9. Well, I got a 9 and a 7 here, and I got a 9 here. This is my classic naked triple trick. We know this has to be your 8 because of 7, 9. And since the 9 is already in column 5, this has to be your 7, and that's going to be your 9. So it's a nice quick way to solve all 3 cells. And then what we have left, it looks like a 4, 7, or an 8. All right. Well, I got the 7, 8 here, and I got the 7 there. So I know this is going to be your 7, this is going to be your 8, and our last digit is a 4. The initial grid here kind of reminded me of a puzzle that requires set equivalence theory to solve. If you want to see what I mean by set, click on this other video. I want to thank Bondye for being my Friday featured setter. You've been wonderful, and I will feature more of your puzzles in the near future. Also, please consider supporting my Buy Me a Coffee page. There's a link in the description. It really helps me make great, good quality content for you. Thank you so much for watching.